It's nice to be nice podcast. Oh, we didn't harmonize there, but you know what? I can't harmonize at all.
It feels like we're doing the opening for Seventh Heaven.
I don't remember that opening.
That's the vibe of the show.
Wait, you know that actor Reverend was like
actor Reverend?
The Reverend that was the dad.
Oh yeah. Was
like accused of like misconduct on set.
Yeah, I think that was a big thing back then and now and all the time on sets.
True. All right. Well, oh, my camera is up on my computer.
You love to see yourself from all angles.
Yeah, I need it right in front of me and
you want to make sure you know what they're seeing.
Yes. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Benton is another year wiser and older.
Thank you.
You've been around the sun another whole year.
Yeah.
So Benton's birthday, so glad that Benton was born. Didn't sound like I meant that.
No, I believe you. Yeah, it was my birthday yesterday. It was cute and fun and chill.
What did you do?
I saw you.
Yes,
we got our nails done.
Yes,
I watched you delegate to the nail techs.
Okay, first of all,
a lot of. Do you have bubble bath? Do you have the color bubble bath? Can you just do a short round? Okay. I know, they're so messed up. Do you have any Neosporin? My finger hurts. It's ouch. I've never seen this machine. What is this machine? Can you just do a small round? Okay, I don't need gel on my toes. Not gel on my toes.
First of all, Benton, every time I talked to you, you pretended you couldn't hear me. So the fact that you heard every other interaction I had is kind of sad.
Well, I didn't want us to be talking across the room.
Well, it wasn't across the room. You were one station away from me.
Yeah. I just didn't know how. I didn't know where yours was going to go. I didn't know if it was going to end in a fight or not. So I was like, I don't need to know. I want them to think like I just brought her.
First of all, I would never fight with a nail technician. That was very kind of them to. Okay, so first of all, these were the machines I was confused about.
Well, hang on. You have to start off with the fact that you walked in with with a candle, a flame, into the acrylic nail salon, whipping around fire like you were a baton twirling, fire dancing biatch.
Okay. I brought Benton a birthday donut, and I had a candle, and I was to sing happy birthday for you to blow it out.
I was having acrylic sprayed on my hands, and Emily reaches down and goes, I'm going to light this candle. And I was like, let's not light it while she's spraying acrylic out of an aerosol can.
I didn't know that was flammable. I didn't know you couldn't have any fire in a salon. But now that I think about it, yeah, I've never seen a candle lit or like an open flame in a nail place.
Yeah.
So crisis averted. Thank you.
But you came in with your candle, and then what happened?
I tried to light it.
Yeah.
You said no.
Definitely on time. You were totally on time.
Okay, I was 10 minutes late, which is not bad for me.
No, I don't care at all. Also, they were really worried you weren't coming.
Well, I can see that no shows happen, but it wasn't me. And also,
I just kept saying you were parking every time they'd ask.
Yeah,
and they were like, still? And I was like, yeah, she can't find a parking spot.
And there were 2 spots right out front. But, so I was almost late and almost blew up the entire place. But it was very far for me. It was very far.
It's far for me too, yeah.
And the battery on my key broke, like the clicker, so I have to now manually remove it, but I lost the part you manually remove that you have to hold up to the start. Like,
what are you talking about?
Okay, so I don't.
You drive a rocket ship? You have a fob to your car?
Yes, you don't put a key in the car anymore.
Oh, that's right. You don't have a key for your car.
And I hate it. I don't think that keys were that big of a deal. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't mean to sound like the Unabomber and like anti-technology, but nothing good comes of not having to put a physical key in the car.
Yeah, sometimes I use the key to open cans. So
why?
Because sometimes it's easier. Yeah, the cans are usually locked up. When you go to Rouse, they lock them all up.
At every like CVS and grocery store out here, they lock up toiletries. Like,
yes,
you literally have to press a button.
I can tell you why. I work at a store that is
tell this story.
Ravished and rampaged and robbed.
Tell this story.
That's it. We just get robbed constantly, and people don't even care nowadays. They'll just come in. They will literally come in, look you dead in the eye, pick the product up, put it in their bag, and go, bye, and just leave. And there's nothing you can do about it.
Which is, we probably shouldn't advertise that because more people are just going to start.
Well, they act like they're. I mean, everybody's like, you all should care. I was like, I don't own this $1 billion company. I could care less.
Yeah, and also, what are you supposed to do? Tackle them?
Yeah, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, that's not
I said have a nice day.
Yeah, that's above your pay grade for sure.
It's above everyone's pay grade to fist fight people over things they don't own.
You know what? That's true. And the man has made us think that it's our they're stealing from us, but they're
Yeah,
not.
do you ever think about that? Well, because the way it works is that if you steal from a company, you take from their hours, and they can't give hours to employee because they don't have the money to pay them. So you're stealing from the people that are working there.
Oh, but you don't
what it
feel that
is.
way because you're just like, no, this is their stuff.
Well, I mean, it sucks for people, but
Yeah.
I mean, what are you going to get? You're going to get what, cut over
Yeah.
polo?
Okay, so it was your birthday yesterday.
It was.
Were birthdays a big deal in your family growing up? Like, were they a
I mean,
to-do?
my parents like did stuff for my birthday. I didn't ever like not have a birthday.
Yeah.
I just am always like, I don't know, the older I get, the more I'm like, I get confused on what kind of birthdays I want to have.
Right.
Like I go back and forth between being like, I just want to have like a little lazy cottage day and like lay in a field and not be bothered and just really reflect on my birth and my life and what's going on. And then I have moments where I'm like, well, I want to have a giant friend party and obviously I want to do friend things.
Right.
And then my brain goes back and forth between like, well, if you didn't do anything, did you even have a birthday? And then the other part of me is like, actually, that was really nice. I had a lovely time.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. I don't put a lot of pressure. I don't, because I do not like when people are like, it's my birthday in a month, it's my birthday.
Oh, what I just said?
No, not that, because your birthday's coming right up. But like in general, it's like when people are like, everyone needs to wear a black dress and we're going to this place and everyone needs to do this. It's like, I don't even want to celebrate you at this point.
Yeah. But
I just want to like be around people, and I got to be around you, and then like, that was it. And then, but like,
I almost blew you up.
I'll see like, but that was fun and exciting. And then like, I'll see Matt next week. Like there's like, I just like wait for like, I'd rather just be around people and hang out than make it like a big, like, I don't need like a waiter I don't know bringing me a flaming tart. Like I don't need that. Like I would much rather just like have pizza in the living room floor as long as I have fun.
Right. Growing up, birthdays were a really big deal in my house. Like for me and my sister, we were like, it was really big. But like for my dad,
like in a competitive way or just like in a fun
just
way?
like in a fun way. But so my sister's birthday is June 15th and mine's June 5th. So we're 10 days apart, but she's 2 years older. But growing up, I never understood, like as a child, I never understood why she was older if my birthday was first. It literally was mind-boggling to me. And I thought it was a giant conspiracy. And I was like, no, they're tricking me.
Your first enemy, Father Time.
It's like, I'm older if my birthday's 10 days earlier. And they were like, we don't know how to explain years to a moron. So we're just going to let you think that you're older. But it was quite a debacle for a while. But
sounds tough.
And then like it would be my birthday on the 5th. And then I would always be like, my birthday's first. And then Kate'd be like, yeah, but then you're just going to be over and it'll be mine. And it was always like, Gah! And then when I was turning 5, I remember this.
And then when I was turning 5, guys, when I turned, you're not going to believe the hot gossip from when I turned 5.
My mom had gotten me and Kate American Girl dolls, which used to be like a huge deal.
Yeah.
And I got Kirsten, and my mom pulled me aside in the morning and was like, hey, Kate's really going to flip like when you get your American Girl doll and she has to wait. So I'm going to give them to both of you today. And I was like, no. And she was like asking me to like pretend she was asking, but really it was just like a directive. And I flipped and I was like, Kate can't open a present on my birthday. And my dad was like, we've failed.
They were like, how much therapy is this going to take to fix? Like, what did we do?
I'm talking
what
about it.
What did your family do to you?
I'm talking about it on a podcast 33 years later. What they did was
Did you have like a sweet 16, like a... I mean, not like a super one, but like, did you have one?
No, but I remember my mom brought like a ton of balloons when I came downstairs in the morning. We did like a thing in the morning. Like
it feels like you would demand a sweet 16. It really feels like they couldn't have got away without that one. Did you get a car?
No. I already had a car.
You already had a car. You got a car when you were 10 or 8? When did you get the car?
We had a car because my sister got in a car when she was 16.
You got a hand-me-down car?
Mm-hmm, a Volkswagen Jetta.
My parents were like, do you want a car? And I was like, I don't really care about them. I'll just take my mom's car.
Yeah.
And I had it forever until it blew up, and then I got another one.
Yeah. I didn't get a car for my 16th birthday, no. But my mom always made it was sweet. She made always like a really big deal about birthdays. Like, they were like,
my mom and dad, I felt like liked them more than me, even as a kid. Like they would do we would have like fish fries and big cookouts and invite all these people, and it would be like a huge thing, and I'd just be like, I need to go to my room. I was so moody. I was like, I need to be alone.
Yeah, you're
my
right.
mom's like, can you come out here? And did you just hit me?
No, I was catching. I thought I caught
the climate in America. Now you're hitting me.
I thought I caught a little bug.
Oh, now you're sensei. Now you're catching bugs from the air.
Sometimes I do. Like we have these like tiny little.
Emily throws a ninja sword and cuts a fly in half.
It's like a gnat, and it's been here for days, and I can't get rid of it. And it's haunting me. Sorry, go on.
I forgot.
Birthdays.
Oh yeah, my mom would
Yeah.
be like, you need to come out and spend time with people that came to see you, and I was like, I didn't invite them.
You're like,
I'd be like, I need to dye my hair black
I'm
in the
having an
tub.
existential crisis. I'm 7.
I'd be like, Mom, I'm listening to
Yeah.
Avril Lavigne. Like, it would just be, she'd be like, please just come out for a minute.
But it's funny because my dad was more low key about birthdays in his family growing up. He was like, we got an orange. Like we
That's
got
what
a
my dad used to say. Are they really giving dads oranges their whole lives? Where's that coming from? My dad said this. He'd be like, we got oranges. Or sometimes we got an onion and a piece of bread. For fucking what? Where did you grow up? Prison?
That's so funny. And my poor dad. So his birthday is
Parents just be lying.
his birthday is January 6th, which is not a great day in history because the insurrection happened on that day on his 70th birthday. But prior to that, his birthday was always like a week after Christmas, and people were just done. People were like, you know what? We've celebrated. Like, so the poor guy just probably did only get an orange, but
I found out on my birthday yesterday that on May 6th, some years way before, that the Nazis burned the first ever LGBTQ like history stuff.
On your birthday?
On May 6th, yeah. And they burned the first books that had like the transgender health in it, like for the very first ones.
Oh my God.
Someone posted that and I was like, cool.
They didn't send it to you though?
No, I just saw it. I have eyes.
What?
I have eyes.
Oh, you can see? Oh, wow.
Different.
Okay.
It's one of my
Well, you're
senses.
making Stevie Wonder feel like shit right now. Because he can't see.
But yeah, birthdays weren't like a giant. I mean, they were a big deal to my parents always went above and beyond, but I was just so like I could have done anything.
Yeah, I was a brat, so they were a big deal in my family growing up. But
What was the worst bratty moment you ever had? Like, what's your creme de la creme of bratness?
well, I think that American Girl doll was pretty bratty.
I think you've done worse. Come on. I know as you got older, you had to get smarter with it. So I want to know, like, when did you like break your sister's knee at prom or
No, but she did. She
stick
broke.
leeches on her eyes when she was asleep? Like, what crazy
No,
shit?
that would have been good for her face, so I wouldn't have done that.
Not the eyes.
No, my sister and I are very competitive growing up, but now we're very close. She's like my best friend. But when we were younger, she broke her ankle in gym class.
So you broke both your arms?
No, she broke
Just
her
one
ankle.
upper?
She broke her ankle in gym class, and I was very jealous because she had crutches and was getting like a lot
Attention.
of
I knew you broke both arms, so someone had to feed you. You had a bell in your mouth. You were like, Mama.
So I'd come home from school and hide her crutches so she'd be stuck wherever she was.
Okay, honestly, my dad is handicapped, and he walked with a walking stick forever. And sometimes I thought I was going to get in trouble. I'd be like, I'm going to put it further away. As if he didn't have like 8 more of them.
Well, Kate only had
And
2
my mom
crutches.
always brought it back. I was like, this is not helping.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty disgusting. But yeah, I was a brat. So, but we'd have to ask them for more. I'd have to ask other people for examples because
What about, were you nice at her wedding or were you not nice then?
Well, yes, I was nice at her wedding. And
Was it hard?
no, but I did gain a lot of weight around her wedding time, which I think is very kind of me because everyone else looked so tiny. But this was bad. But people did expect me to be bratty at it, and I really wasn't.
They were trying to calm you. They're like, we
But-
promise one day we'll do it for you.
Yeah, but I really wasn't, and I was trying so hard not to be and show everyone that it did turn into a bit of a spectacle. And
Look at me, everyone. I love my sister. Do you want to hear my speech about my sister?
when she was turning to walk back down the aisle after she was pronounced married, I stepped on her veil, and it was a full accident, and it like yanked her head back. But it was a full accident.
And who is going to believe that?
That's the problem. No one did. It just
2
seemed.
horns grew out of your head. You're like, whoops.
And then
Your sister fall. You break her neck. You're like, should have got married before me because my birthday's first. She's too bad, Matt.
she was fine, but then she fixed it, and it happened again because this veil was very long, and so.
What were you doing? Running up behind her? Give her a minute.
But there's a picture from the wedding where I realized I've done it, and it's literally like, like my face, my hands are up my face, and I
Because
just
you're covering a
look.
smile. You said, speak no evil.
But Kate and I also have this thing where she's she's pointed out that when someone makes a mean face at me, I immediately make one back without any context or like knowing why she does it. So like she'll often like trick me by like we'll be getting along, everything will be great, and then she'll make a mean face and I immediately make a mean face.
Like you're always ready for war,
I'm always
Emily.
ready
You are ready for a fight.
And so like
I was like, if this nail tech doesn't have bubble bath, we are in for it.
She always jokes that on my wedding day she's gonna make a mean face like right before a picture's taken, and then I'm gonna immediately because it's
on your wedding day she's gonna set your veil on fire.
Yeah, no, Kate is not like that. Kate is like kind and gentle.
You'll have shrimp in your bouquet.
Kate is a much bigger, better, wonderful person. Like she's just like she would never do that. But it was so funny because she knew I didn't do it on purpose. But it was still, even still to this day.
Which time did you not do it on purpose?
Both times. But even to this day, all these cousins are like, remember when Emily stepped on Kate's veil because no one was marrying her? And I was like, yeah, it sounds like that.
Your whole family knows how you are. The whole family is like, oh God.
Yeah, like it tracks.
They're like scared to invite you to other birthdays and funerals. They're like, we don't want
funerals.
Yeah. And like, all this attention, they're dead. Why are we even here?
Okay.
No one sent me a ham platter and I'm alive.
I can't even eat ham. Okay, but no, my sister knew I didn't do it, and I love my sister very much, so she knows I didn't, but everyone else thought I did.
Who are you trying to prove it to?
Okay.
I know, I love Kate. If you're listening, Kate, please, listen, please, Kate. Like, what is going on?
She knows I didn't do it. I don't want to.
Did your mom give you a look? Was she like, Emily?
No, they knew I didn't do it on purpose. It was just what's sadder.
Did you vape at her wedding?
No.
Did you?
Vapes didn't exist yet.
Did you vape a big ring and then walk through it?
Yes.
That's gonna be your wedding.
But what's more sad is that people think that if that's your brand, it's more sad that it's my brand enough that people would think I did that. That's the sad part. You know what I'm saying?
Well, 38 years leading up to it.
Yeah. But because I told you about I'm not going to tell that story. It's too awful, and I can't say it out loud.
I'm sure this will go great in the comments.
Okay. So I had a boy. Did I ever tell this story? I had a boyfriend in college who broke up with me, and I was so sad. And I went over to his house one day to talk to him about it, our breakup, thinking that was going to be helpful, and it wasn't. And we got in a fight, and he said that if this were Texas, he could shoot me because he had stand your ground law. And I was like, well, that's really scary. And then when we were...
Seems like you really missed out on the catch.
when he was...
Why are all your boyfriends from Texas?
Yeah, this is not my current boyfriend.
Right.
But I had one other boyfriend from Texas.
It'd be weird if it just happened.
But correct, because I was in college. But he was pulling out of the driveway, and I was like, please keep, like, I tried to, like, stop. I, like, went for the door, and he drove away. But he told people that I laid under his car tires so he wouldn't leave. And then everyone started calling me Tiananmen Square, which is a horrible, not politically correct joke. But they were claiming that I laid under his car tires to stop him from leaving. And I hadn't.
I don't even understand that joke.
Well, because in Tiananmen Square, like, they rolled over protesters with cars because they wouldn't leave.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's horrible. I mean, it's horrible.
I just would have called you like a little speed bump bitch or something.
Speed bump bitch is a lot funnier. But it ended up being like a funny story that people were telling. And it hadn't happened, but I just leaned into it because I was like, all right, if this is my brand, I'm not going to like fight you guys. And then I was just like, if
you said better make merch.
Better make merch. I should have. And then I was like, you know what? Like,
if he leaves you, don't let him. That's what it would say.
But it was so sad. I was just like, well, if this behaved like, because if someone told that story about someone else, I'd be like, that. But depending on the type of person it was, you'd be like, that isn't possible. They'd never do that. You know what I mean? Like if someone, but if I was already the type of person that someone would believe that about, then the ship is sailed.
Well, I mean, if that story was true, how'd he get away? Did he run you over?
Thank you. Yes, thank you. But anyway, like 10 years later, he Facebook messaged me and was like, hey, I'm sorry I lied to everyone about that.
You said, are you sorry? You said you were going to shoot me if I didn't leave your porch?
I said that was the more upsetting thing. But even to this day, it's like people still know what it is, and I just am like, okay, but I actually do that.
So just to clarify for the listeners and viewers, when you were in college, you thought cum was green, you laid under cars,
but I didn't lay under cars,
and they would clink on their chastity belts at you.
No, in high school they would walk down.
Oh, that one didn't follow you around.
They would walk down the high school hallway and clank on their crotches. It's like because I didn't kiss a lot and do leather.
Is that what people wear chastity belts for? Kissing? Yes. A lot of coochie kissing?
Kissing's the gateway drug.
Kissing is a gateway drug. I'm so like the which is so ironic too that I'm the anti-sex person in this group. But
I'm not anti-sex. I just.
Well, I mean, like, as in, I don't have sex. So it's like, that's very interesting to me. But then I'm also, like, much more body positive about it. Or not sex positive about it.
Yeah. I'm not sex positive.
I know you're not. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Okay.
This brand we've created. Lean into it.
Very.
I want you to just start selling merch that says Virginity rules. Oh, someone already does that. Never mind.
I don't think Virginity rules. Do what you want.
Wow.
Do what you want to do. I don't care.
You know remember the person that sold their virginity on eBay?
Oh, yeah.
I think that was so smart. I know people don't like it, but I understand why you wouldn't like it.
Yeah.
But honestly, doing what it was a girl, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think
doing what she did and making whatever it was, like $300,000 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Versus like losing it, I don't know, in the back of a car next to a Gatorade bottle. It just seems like it seems like she really had a better idea.
Well, she empowered herself, right? But I guess, who am I to judge? All right. Good.
I just think I was just like, honestly, like that is not smart.
And also, like,
if she doesn't really care and she's just kind of like whatever, and everybody else is a fucking freak, she really leaned into her.
Yeah.
You're into her.
Empowerment.
Like what she has to offer that isn't like real. Like there's some things that like men want from women that aren't actually like a real thing to offer. Like they don't really matter, but there's this like mysticism around them. And she like picked up on that and she said, "I got it."
Yeah.
She said, "Here we go."
Yeah. I wonder.
I mean, nobody was mad when the girl sold farts in a jar on the internet.
Oh yeah, that girl from 90 Day Fiancé.
And that's much different, I think.
I mean, whatever you want to do.
Whatever you want to sell on the internet.
Whatever you want to sell on the internet.
down for.
Price it up. Mark it up.
Kidneys, kittens, whatever it is.
Kitties, kittens. No, kitties, kidneys. That took a while.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a huge market for cat kidneys that I am entrenched in. It's here.
I'm checking on our Postmate order.
Oh, so your phone's on.
Yeah, of course. I ordered food.
Oh, but
you also ordered food on it, remember?
I was turning it, because remember when you...
Yeah, I know.
I was turning
but
things around.
I'm not upset about my phone being... I won't be shamed in my phone being turned on.
But you shamed me for it.
Well, if you felt shame...
Oh my God. It's like mental gymnastics, and I always end up looking like an idiot.
No, I think you're really good at it.
Being an idiot. Okay.
What are you most excited for in the future?
What am I most excited for in the future? God, that's a really good question, and kind of sad that I don't have an answer. I gotta really think about that. That's probably something I should add to my list for therapy. What about, do you have an answer?
I mean, I definitely would love to be like financially comfortable, because I think that equals freedom. You know what I mean? Like when you don't have to worry about things, it gives you a lot of freedom to not only kind of like live the way you want to live and do the things you want to do, but also it makes things less scary. It makes you not feel like you can't do something or go there's no one to tell you no. There's no one to take something away from you when you have that.
Right.
And you have the ability to like also like invest in things that you think are important.
Right.
Or like your own community. Like I just think there's a lot of doors that opens.
Right.
And not even like in a selfish way. Like, because I mean, people need a lot less than they think to be comfortable.
Totally.
But like just in general, when you have something that allows you to like be like really comfortable financially, it really does open up a lot of doors to like make not only your life better, but the people around your lives, the people that you interact with. And I think that'd be really cool. But then like obviously everyone wants that. That's a very common one. Everyone wants, that kind of
well, that's
stability.
like, what do they say, that money doesn't buy happiness, but it buys freedom, which is like such a good point. It buys you freedom from like stress of worrying about money.
That's the number one thing. I mean, the people that have money, that's the least thing they usually are, stressed.
Yeah.
Because like everything feels like not a big deal.
I have noticed this phenomenon among like in this industry and beyond. Like we've been exposed to some very wealthy people, you know what I mean? Like in our business.
Oh, us. I think I was like, who?
No. And I have noticed this phenomenon where it's like the more money you have, the more it's never enough. Do you know what I'm saying? So we say it buys freedom from like stress and worry and things, but I think that once you have it, you're always worried you're going to lose it, and then you need more, and then you see someone, and then you move up an echelon of being around people that have even more, and then you feel like you have less, and it's just like never ending.
Yeah, which also all that is a lot of probably like inside work, because for sure. There's also what kind of, I guess, money you have or where it came from also has a more like, there's a more competitive nature of like getting more and more.
Right.
I think that people that are kind of like, again, doing their own thing, they kind of don't worry about, worry about themselves because their money came from doing what they do, not from doing a thing that
Right.
a lot of people do.
I think we're also like millennials and Gen Z are trying to break out of this mold of like, I mean, because I look at my parents and I think a lot of parents are in their generation, like they stayed at the same job for like 35 to 40 years.
Of course, yeah.
And we don't. Like our generation, that's how you make more money. You like bounce around and go to like another, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, but then it's wild for our parents to understand that because they're just like, no, we had like loyalty to where we're working. We got a pension, like, and that just doesn't exist anymore.
No, it doesn't. And also you can look at most people's parents and be like, well, that didn't really work out the way you thought. You're really just like making ends meet for a very long time.
Right.
Like, that looks different for every person, of course.
I just feel like so many things are changing, obviously, and they should, and it's all good. But we still have this mindset that success looks like what it did then, and it doesn't anymore.
Or something like wildly extreme now.
Right, exactly. So we're just sort of trying to like reprogram our brains to be like, hey, success doesn't mean you got married at 28, bought a home at 30, retired. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I mean, even
all
in the
that
work
looks
area,
different
like
now.
most places, it's really crazy. We still work 5 days a week, and people will say like, "Oh, we're all lazy or we're this or that."
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "This millennials and Gen Z people that I know work twice as hard as most people because there's so little,
right?
I mean, and none of them can still afford rent or anything. I mean, you have every statistic that we have being like, no one can afford rent anywhere.
Right, no one can buy a home.
Everyone is too stressed.
Yeah.
Everyone is this, and we're just like. But like we live in such like a capitalistic kind of society, which is so funny because like I understand. God, before anybody says anything, I understand there are like rules and regulations and logic behind why we can't print more money. But if we're being really honest, like we didn't make it up.
Also, wait, that's so crazy. The whole concept of money is made up.
Because if you think about it, we're in debt to other countries, billions of dollars. Well, they ain't getting it. Yeah. Like, let's be real. Like, we made this shit up. It's not real.
Let's just
like we used to trade chickens and pebbles. Like, with that money, like,
well, it was money because it had like
exactly
an inherent value. Like, you can eat a chicken. You can
hold a pebble.
You can hold a pebble.
Like,
you can put a pebble in your pocket.
Yeah, you can put them in a bag and beat the shit out of your enemy.
You could beat the chicken. Just kidding. That's animal abuse. Don't do that.
But during war times.
Well, war is war. But we don't co-sign war. I'm very nervous today. I feel like I need to drop. I think because I'm hungover and I'm very like sensitive to like everything I'm saying. And also I read a comment on YouTube that made me sad. And so So
whoever wrote that comment, you have single-handedly destroyed the podcast.
I'm in my head. Okay. So yes, money is completely made up, but people say gold is not. Gold is different, but I don't know why.
Well, I mean, I understand there's like a value to the money or whatever, but what is it?
We collectively decided.
What is it?
Yeah. Like
it doesn't, like, you still are just being like, you're $30,000 in debt to this college. Of what? Like, you're not, I don't have it. Like, you've made it up. We've made this up.
You could just say, no, I'm not.
You didn't even give me skills to make the money back. Like, what are we talking about? Not all your vapes. You dropped all the vapes.
Because I can't smoke them anymore, so I'm letting them roll away from me.
You just snort them now. You're taking them like poppers.
Oh, God.
Yeah, but that is super annoying to me. I don't know how I got on that tangent, but I just think that the whole work experience. It's also crazy that everybody that we like. Not everybody. Let me calm down for a minute. Mm-hmm. But so many like. It's just wild to me that people think everyone doesn't deserve a livable wage. It's so wild.
Right, that is crazy.
And then to think that one person should have so much money they can build a new moon or whatever the fuck they're trying to do, and somebody else is like trying to like
literally like keep lights on,
or what's the word I'm looking for? Like divvy out their medicine.
Yeah.
To make it last as long as possible. Like people shouldn't be like halving their pills so that one person can buy 15 of the same car just to take pictures and walk around.
Yeah. It's pretty, the whole thing is real messed up. Yeah. And I don't have a solution for it.
I mean, I'm not saying that like if I, worked hard and I wanted to buy something nice or own nice things that you can't, I'm totally all for that. Right. But I mean, like, I would never, me personally, I would really hope and I would believe.
Yeah.
That no matter how much money that I made, I would never choose money over like the right thing.
Right.
And I think that like that sometimes can bite you in the ass and leave you without as much money.
Right.
But at the end of the day, like I can't take that money with me when I go anyways.
Yeah.
So why would I want to live in a way that makes me that gives me some grand life, and then what, I die and everyone remembers me as the person who sucked the life out of everyone?
Yeah. And also like at a certain point you just don't need any more money. Aren't there like no billionaires in Sweden? Don't they like not not allow billionaires.
Right. So they're just grin and frolic.
Right. They just build furniture. IKEA.
But that is a good point though, because like billionaires, it's like you just can't get to where you are without.
Right, without using like public services that you have to reinvest into.
And also, don't you get bored? Like when you have that much money, aren't you? I would be bored.
Yeah,
I'd be like, I have all the money. Like no one can even do anything cool.
Yeah,
and, at least if you were giving it to other people, they'd be able like, maybe you have a great idea for a restaurant that I can go to as a rich person. Maybe you have a good idea for technology, but we're all like hoarding it.
Right, but
it's even now with like this writer's strike. It's just like now we're not even. You guys can't even negotiate.
Yeah,
that's how important money is to us. We think that one person that answers emails should have 15 Van Gogh paintings, but the people that actually write the shows you like shouldn't be allowed to buy bread.
Yes. Okay. I'm not a studio. You're making me feel like it's my.
Listen, you might be anxious. I'm impassioned.
Okay. I like that you're impassioned. Another thing is, I think that what was I going to say?
Me just walking without fear everywhere I go like a
psycho.
I know.
Jesus. No, wait. What was I just going to say? Shoot, I lost it because.
Because you were thinking about what you didn't want to say.
No, I was thinking about what I did want to say, but I tried to pipe up and I couldn't get it out.
It's important to speak even if your voice shakes.
That's true. That's really good. That's really good advice.
That's a quote. I think Maya Angelou said it or something.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I mean, I'm not saying anything that's like.
Why do you have your hand in your pocket? I don't think I like that.
I love pockets.
Yeah, don't we know? That's a girl thing. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I think because.
Where do you think that came from?
I think because we didn't have them for so long. I think.
Oh, love that. That's true. Yeah, pants, all that stuff. That's true.
Yeah.
I just think it's so the joy that like all my girlfriends when they find a pocket in a dress is true. And but all I can ever think of is like, you really shouldn't be putting things in the pockets of your dress. It's gonna weigh it down and look weird. I don't even like when men put things in their pocket. Like, I'm like, why do you have 19 things in your pocket?
Yeah.
You're like a bag of boulders.
Yeah. Also, I heard that if a guy or girl or anyone keeps their wallet in their back pocket all the time, and then they sit on it all the time, they can really fuck up their back.
Yeah, that happened. Happened to me one time.
Yeah, isn't that wild?
Yeah, which is also. Do people still? I don't even know that I've seen somebody with a wallet in their back pocket in forever. I always see people with those little card holders now in their front pocket.
Oh.
Or Apple Pay.
Oh.
Do guys even buy wallets anymore?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you have a wallet?
Yeah.
Oh.
It keeps it in his pocket.
Wow.
Which is so crazy because
It's so funny how there's like one functional like little unit for men to keep stuff everywhere, and then like you've ever seen, and then women, it's just like
we have to
everything's in a purse just thrown out. It's just like a card here, a card there. You have one card in a ponytail.
Yeah.
Like,
also, switching purses is such a nightmare. Like then your car chapsticks.
Well, I pre-pack all mine. Mine have like all of them have a charger. All of them have like a peppermint thing for my nose. All of them have a different lip. Like they all have things, so I can just move the wallet.
Wow, you're like a child moving between divorced homes. Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I should do that.
Those divorced homes,
I just move.
Are Gucci and Versace.
Okay.
They're really not.
Billionaire.
They're from Target.
Okay.
Speaking of billionaires, Target. No.
Yeah, speaking of billionaires, yeah. But another crazy thing is that the more money you have, the easier it is to make money. Because
of course, your money makes money.
That's what's so frustrating. And also, okay, so during the pandemic, I was on unemployment because my job ended. And I made more on unemployment than I'd ever made in my entire life up to that point. And I'm just kind of like, where was all this money before the pandemic? It was somewhere.
And also people don't realize that we all complain about stuff, but the thing that it's really difficult to really make an impact on those areas, like with like money and changing like systematic things, because most people are stressed and anxious about bills and going to work, and have a family to take care of, or a baby, or a dental problem, or whatever it is they're dealing with.
Right.
And it's like when you get a chance to go spend a little bit of money at a restaurant or to buy yourself something you like from wherever it is, like you're going to do it because you want that little joy.
Right.
It's like, but at the same time, we do vote with our money. So if we say I dislike this and then I go and purchase it,
money talks. Yeah.
It's like it doesn't say it's the reason places like Chick-fil-A can keep going, because we're there are people that are obviously supporting that, and then there are people that are just like the chicken's really good, and it's like, well, you're voting with your money. You're saying that no matter where you give your money to, this chicken is.
But
I also understand that because it's just like it is really good chicken, and it's affordable, and we don't all get the luxury to go and eat at these bougie places. So why would you not want a great little sweet tea and chicken?
That's another thing.
It's hard to be mad when people, people already have so little.
That's the thing about Amazon. Like Jeff Bezos is sitting in a tower in the sky made out of money, and is like, we're fucking using paper straws that are disintegrating in our mouths to save the environment. He's flying to the moon for fun.
Yeah, we talked about this before. The posters in the middle of Hollywood, like, don't water your lawn. What fucking lawns do we have here?
But also, here's the thing. It's like, okay, but at the same time, Amazon is extremely convenient. You know what I mean?
So convenient. Everything is there.
Everything is there. It comes the next day.
And that's our fault. We've given him so much money. He can put everything there.
Right. It's just So yes, I'm part of the problem with Amazon. Like, I'm not pro Bezos and having all this money. And
it's just like with Apple. Yeah. I love this iPhone. It literally has changed everyone's lives. And we're still like, well, they did move the camera. I should buy another one. Oh, this one's yellow. I should probably get another one.
Oh my God.
And then we want to, and then we're like, and then we're yelling at people that, order off fast fashion. It's like, what do you want them to do? Be ugly and not like, what I mean? Like, they want to feel cute just like you feel cute. The difference is not everybody can afford it. But then on the flip side, destroying the earth left, right, and center with fast fashion.
Right. Like it's
like, what?
I read something that there's enough clothes. And meanwhile, people still don't have clothes, but there's enough clothes on the planet to like dress the next 7 generations.
We would rather throw them into a landfill.
Yeah.
Than give them to people. It's like, because it's about, money. It's the same thing with like, I mean, I love beauty products, but like they're also not always the best for the environment.
Right.
But anytime a brand tries to fix that, people are like, I don't like it. I don't like the way it looks. I don't like the package it's in. I don't want it in a bag.
And then the performative like green stuff. Companies are saying like, we're green, and then you find out there's like metal in their clothes.
Yeah, well, most companies are just, that's all marketing. It's just like it's like when you go to a company and they're like, this is a safe space. It's like, what does that mean for the employees? Like, what all you're really saying is, come shop here, other. Like that's what you're really doing. If there's no action behind it, if you're not actually doing something to better these people's lives, if you're not paying disabled people more, and that's your big thing you're marketing, or if you're not giving healthcare to trans people, whatever it is that you say if you're not doing anything they can actually tangibly use,
then you're just
marketing.
It's performative.
You're just marketing. It's like whenever people go the red carpet and they wear a ribbon, and we're like, well, nothing's fixed. All you did was cut up more fabric.
Oh God, I'm getting really, I mean, I already knew all this, but I don't try to think about it all at the same time, and it's just such a fucking bummer.
Well,
Sorry, guys.
Listen, they have opinions. I like reading the comments about this.
Sad to be sad. This podcast.
Anything positive you want to add?
Well, no. To you?
Well, yeah, I think that the good thing is that we now live in all that stuff being said, which is sick, sad, and disgusting. We do get to live in a society that's very aware of it, and we talk about it a lot more, and we care a lot more. Yeah. It doesn't mean it's getting any easier to get there, but
and me being bummed out about it, it's not saying like, oh, we shouldn't talk about it. We should just like watch Netflix. I'm not.
No, you being bummed out about it means you're a human that has feelings about it.
Right, but I'm not saying like I'm not saying, oh, I don't want to talk about that. Obviously, I want to talk about it. It is. It's really overwhelming.
It's overwhelming, and that's a lot of people's thing. It goes back to that thing like there's already so much going on. I can't. Why adding this other thing is so difficult. Which is why it's really important to find little ways you can do it. Because we all can't live in tree houses. I'm so sorry. Yeah. I wish, but like it's just not realistic.
I'd love to.
And so like you have to like know where you can cut your like. I just started carrying a metal straw. Like I got it.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Great.
Doing my best.
Little things.
You can set like your washing machine to certain cycles. Right. Use less water.
Like lots of
there's plenty of things you can do that they don't really require that much mental effort as far as like being upset about something.
I think one thing is though, to change everything in this world, people are just gonna have to give something up. You know what I mean? Like you have to relinquish some things, whether it's like comfort or money or just
at least for a minute,
for things to get better. Like you can't keep things the way they are. Nothing's going to change. Nothing changes if nothing changes. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And sometimes those things you have to let go is being comfortable, like having an uncomfortable conversation.
Yep.
Or, realizing something that you thought you weren't doing wrong that you were.
Right.
Or, whatever it is, you have to do those things. And that doesn't mean you're like a terrible, nasty person.
Right.
I mean, if you continue to do them, that's a pattern, and then you probably are.
Right.
But in general, you have to make mistakes to learn something.
Yeah.
And you can't be like scared of, being called out for it or whatever, cancel, whatever.
Right.
Because the thing is like, a lot of the times the people that are doing that just don't realize, like, you know, lots of Gen Z, I think, forgets that, like, a lot of the things you have are because millennials started it.
Right.
Like, you have body positivity because they started it.
And a lot of things millennials have is because generations before that started.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
it doesn't mean that we can't learn and change.
Right,
but, like,
right.
you know, it also means you can't be like, nobody watch Friends anymore. It's like,
Right.
okay, well, girl,
Right.
like, at the time, that's all we had to watch.
Right.
So we, the people that you are apparently
Attacking.
on the side of, like, I think about this a lot with, like, a lot of LGBTQ things will get brought up and be like, this show is really problematic, and it's like, it was.
Yeah.
Like, not talking about Friends, but like in general,
Yeah.
you know, that's one
Well,
of the shows
Friends
people
too,
say
I mean,
that about.
yeah.
But in general, a lot of the shows in that time period, people be like, this is really problematic, like Will and Grace, but also extremely important to what happened. Like, hate crimes went down.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it was a perfect show,
Right,
but
but
it's
it tried.
all
Yeah.
that we had.
Yeah.
So it's like we didn't grow up with Glee. We didn't grow
Right.
up with all these shows
Right,
where
right,
people,
right.
you know, could be anything and everything.
Right. It was
it's
a huge
so a lot
deal.
of the things that they, like, attack people for, like, well, why are you watching this show? It's like, listen, that character has nothing to do with me, but I had to relate to it. I had to figure out a way to make Poison Ivy relate to me. That's all I had to, you know, those people are, people that are kind of othered are very good at taking something that's not made for them, really, and finding a way to relate to it so that they don't just feel horrible all the time.
God, yeah.
And so you have to remember that whenever you're critiquing everyone, that sometimes it's like people are holding on to something because it was really important to them. Like, that happens all with the Harry Potter stuff. Like, obviously J.K. Rowling is, you know, doing
problematic.
some psycho shit.
Yeah.
But, like, in general, it's like you can't just erase the effect that had on people. You can't get people to quit watching something, and it's like, you know, like,
it's hard.
Like, even the names of the characters are really bad. Like Cho Chang or whatever Shackle, whatever.
Yeah.
The last name Shackle. It's like, but you know, I was talking to my friend Spencer about this, and she was saying, like, growing up as a black kid, like, obviously now she's like, I can see how that's problematic, but all I saw them was a black wizard that I liked.
Right.
She's like, that's all that I saw.
Yeah.
And she was like, so obviously I can adjust my thinking as an adult to to not be on the side of J.K. Rowling or whatever.
Right.
She's like, but that doesn't take away the fact that, like, I thought that character kicked ass because it was the only one I saw myself in.
Right. And I can still like the character.
Yeah. And it doesn't mean that she's like a nightmare person.
Right. Yeah, it is. But I get that it's tricky though, because it's like, can you still like the Harry Potter series? Like, I remember reading it and feeling like it was like this magical, like I was
of course you can, because
but it's hard to separate the art from the artist.
But those things take on a life of their own. It's very different, because what she made up a fake world. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's beyond whatever she did to it now, because people liked it so much. Right. I think it's different than, like, if you're buying a ticket to an R. Kelly concert. Like,
right.
What I mean? Like, I understand it is similar, the money is going to her.
Right.
But it's just, I don't know. You know what? I really don't know. I go back and forth, because I do think that that's a big reason why a lot of shitty people in Hollywood get away with stuff, because we were like, they made me feel good one time, so I'm going to let them get away with it, because I want to keep them.
And it's also like, it's also like, we have to give ourselves the grace and some leeway to discuss it, because now I'm thinking like, all right, well, I just should not ever read those books again and hate her. And it's like, but it's also worth talking about, to say, like, I really liked those books. You know what I mean? And it's weird that from the mind,
I had a lot of birthday parties around those books.
And it's
I made
weird
a lot of friends.
that the same mind that gave me that is also doing something that's so bizarre to me now. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just, and it's worth a discussion, but I think people are even afraid to have the discussion, because you don't want to be, like, branded as someone that's, like, pro J.K. Rowling. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you
this
also
point,
don't want to, like, you know, there are people, like, I mean, whether she likes it or not, there are trans people that liked her books too.
Right.
And so it is kind of weird for all of us to decide that we're going to take that away from them. Like, did you quit liking it? It's
right.
What if that was the thing that got them through?
Right.
You know, what if that was the thing that was... That's like, I loved Buffy. Buffy, like, literally, truly, watching... I think the show Buffy, there were points in my life when it saved my life a little bit, because where I grew up. But then, like, you know, you find out a lot of horrible things about it when you're an adult, like the production and the director and all these things.
Right.
And it's like that doesn't change what it did for me.
It doesn't take that away.
But I'm able to go, like, well, you know what?
Right.
We should really fix that. God, you know, or whatever. The next thing he does, let's not pay attention to.
Right.
Well, I mean, there's a way, I guess, to go around it, but I can't. What am I supposed to do? Just erase those memories?
Yeah. That's a really good point.
Yeah.
Damn. I mean, I feel like, and then another thing that I feel like what's not fair is that growing up, I had a lot of representation. Like, everyone looked like me, you know, and you don't think about
Were
the
you upset
fact
about that? I could just see you being like,
but that's what's yeah, that's where my hardship came in. I was like, enough of other blonde-haired, blue-eyed heroes, heroines. But yeah, but you also take that for granted. Like, it's a wild and sad thing. I mean, I'm glad. I do feel like we're making progress toward it now.
because you really do notice when you're not shown somewhere, which is why people get so upset about, like, they'll be like, they put you know how you'll be watching Netflix and just out of nowhere a character will be like, I'm a polysexual lesbian. You're like, what?
Yeah, you're like,
it's like, okay, well, you tried. At least we're trying.
Right.
And people get really mad about that, but it's like, okay, dude, but if they didn't do that, all the shows would just be straight people.
Right.
And that's not realistic either.
Right, exactly.
And you really do notice when you're left out of something. I think I've told this before. I remember my dad, when we were watching The Walking Dead, back when it was like, it was like the earlier seasons, and there's the older man who they have to chop his leg off, remember? So he's handicapped, but the whole time he's like still really smart and beneficial to the team and knows all about the farming, and like he isn't a nuisance being handicapped in that world. And I just remember when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, this is probably the first time my dad's seen a handicapped person that wasn't like being taken care of.
Yeah, that wasn't a burden
for him.
Because I feel like that's a trope in entertainment.
Yeah, and they didn't have to leave him behind. It wasn't like, you know, they didn't like just leave him to die. He wasn't like, go on without me, I'm a burden.
Right.
He like still was beneficial. He was a doctor and the reverend and all these things. And I was like, and I just remember being like, wow, I wonder if that even like that impacted my dad, because I know how God, in the 90s, girl, I would watch 7 episodes or 7 seasons of a fucking TV show to see one gay kiss. Right. And it's like, you know what I mean? And it's just like, you wait for it. And it's why when people say things like, when you see kids watching like Encanto or seeing the Barbie with Down syndrome, or when you see like, you know,
or Ariel,
natural hair, Ariel, like when you see those things, like, it seems silly,
but it's so significant.
Whenever you're not looking outside of yourself, right? But it's so important.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying, and I'm embarrassed about that, because growing up, because I had that, I didn't realize. And then one day it dawned on me where it's just like, that would be fucking nuts if every time, because growing up in like the 80s and 90s, if every time you turned on the TV, you didn't see one person that looked like
not
you.
On a magazine cover in a grocery store, not on a can of cat food. It was even though they didn't have a black person holding cat food, it's always a little white lady and a white cat. Yeah, even the cat's white.
And it's embarrassing that when everyone is looking like you don't realize. I mean, I'm embarrassed to say that like that didn't dawn on me until.
Yeah, because you don't feel left out of anything. You don't feel like you're not a part of something. So you're not searching for yourself everywhere. And like even when it comes down to like small like redheads, like that's a very new thing too. To see like an ad campaign for makeup with a redhead in it. Yeah, because you know. It's
and I think that the people that are saying like, oh, it's silly, it's like, well, that's because you've always seen yourself represented, and you have to just take people's words that didn't see themselves, that it is very important, and just like sit down and shut up.
Or the people who are like, it's silly, like I didn't see myself, and it's like, okay. Well, here's the fun fact. Whether you realize it or not, that affected you. Right. And you may have toughed it out, and you may have gotten through it, and you may be okay with it, but that doesn't mean that everyone else deserves to not feel represented because you're okay with not being. Yeah.
It's like the same thing with school loans. Like, I paid off my school loans. Why should I have to pay for other people's? It's like, because you're just being a better, like, let's just help each other.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And I think that all the time about, like, and especially now, because now we've started, going back to this, we've started marketing differences. We've started being like, that's just a selling point now. God. And like, I mean, think about the minute something becomes like a powerful movement on social media, instantly there's merch for it everywhere you go.
Yeah, merch is like a new thing. I mean, remember when people just made concert t-shirts? I feel like merch really exploded over COVID, and merch is just merchandise, right? It's like,
yeah, but I think it's a thing. It's because we have so many ways to connect with each other now, and we see so many different types of people you want to support and show other people. Like, look, here's a niche thing that I like that maybe you like too. Yeah. So I mean, it's I'm
not saying it's a bad thing. I've noticed that it just really sort of blew up. Like, it didn't exist.
Yeah. Well, it's also a very easy way for people to make money too. When people like something, and a lot of people, you can tell if someone cares about the merch they're putting out or if they're just putting it out for sure. And that's kind of a slap in the face if you're just throwing things out with your name on it.
So all of this to say, we're starting a merch line. What if that was the whole point of this whole conversation? Just kidding, we're not. But
yeah,
like,
what if the whole point of this conversation?
What if the whole point was to take the evils of marketing?
Would be like, so if you'd like to donate, like, could you just imagine?
Wait, that would be that'd be like the Truman Show. Like, this whole thing, we just were like, and now we're gonna get a piece of it too.
Dun, 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 dun. It's so, but that shit drives me crazy. It's just like, remember whenever like remember whenever the newest Charlie's Angels movie came out and everyone was just like, it was horrible, and I was like. That. I thought it was, well, and they were like, but they kept marketing it being like it has a woman director, a woman writer, a woman, it was like all woman everything.
Yeah.
And like, it almost felt like as soon as that was put out into the world,
right,
people saw it and got offended by it and made that movie worse. Like, they made it seem worse than it was. They like purposely didn't go see it. And this happened to like Bros when it came out. This happened to The Last of Us on HBO. Like whenever you say something, when you're like, look, we did something pretty cool for that we're pretty excited about, people are like, oh, so you're saying what I like is bad, and they go out of their way to make it seem like it's some terrible thing, or like it's some nightmare, that it was all like as if they took the jobs away from other people. It's like, no,
right. Well, it's just like, I mean, there's no good deed goes unpunished is a kind of a sad thing, but it's also true. It's kind of like the same way, like,
but it's so difficult for people like that.
It's so difficult, and it's like, if you're an advocate for, say you're an advocate for anything, then whatever you're not actively advocating for, because you're actively advocating for something else, you're immediately attacked for not advocating for the other thing. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
but when it comes to things like when you're creating stuff, which is why I think people go to the internet and TikTok and all this stuff so much, like when you're creating, like when they made that movie and they just, and Elizabeth Banks, I believe, did it, and she decided to hire women writers and the director and all this like amazing female cast, like it wasn't to be like, we don't need men or anything else.
It was to celebrate.
But whenever things like that get shit on, or like Bros, when Bros didn't have huge box office numbers, or like whenever,
it's like, oh, this didn't work.
Then they don't want to do it again, which is why it takes like Trace, whose movie Monica is coming out, they filmed that in 2016. It was shelved for years because it was insane. Like, and then now it's like, basically it's coming out. It's a very beautiful movie. It's like an indie like film. It's really, really gorgeously shot. And it has a really nice message about family and all this stuff. But it's just like, you can it's one of those things where I'm sure she's like holding her breath, being like, if this doesn't work, how long before they let us try again?
And it's so much pressure and so unfair because
you can have Cocaine Bear and Anaconda and Little Lizard Killer or whatever the fuck it is.
And we give that so many chances.
So many.
And I think, I don't know, I guess the takeaway is that you just have to keep trying. Like, and that sounds like Pollyanna-ish, but I don't understand what else to be done.
Yeah, you do.
And you have to keep talking about it.
I think you have to keep trying, but more than anything, you have to really support the things you like loudly.
Right.
If you see I hate being like a female comedian, but if you see a female comedian or a queer comedian, you love them, support, tell people. If you see a black-owned business that you think is great, tell people. You have to, because that's the thing. These giant companies that you're seeing that are promoting these things, they have the ability to be very loud.
Right.
But we live in a world where we have the same ability. So if we really want to get something done, we can get it done.
Right.
Think about all the things that we get trending on Twitter for no fucking reason. Like, if you really wanted to get this movie in your local theater, you could figure out a way to make that happen.
I think also what we have to do is trust other people about their experiences. So it's like, just because you haven't experienced it or you didn't see it doesn't mean that it's not true. And it's like, you have to rely on other people to be like, if that was your truth, then you're right. It's a problem. Then we'd all need to work together, even though it didn't happen to me. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because if it's true for someone, then it could be true for another person.
Right, and it's true. So it's like, it doesn't need to be something that it's not that you can't have empathy for. Like, just because you don't understand it doesn't mean it's not a problem.
But we make everything becomes, if I admit this, it could be me.
Right.
That's why this is a much bigger conversation than we won't even really get into, because it's just way too much. But it's why we have so many problems with when people come out about sexual assault or something. We need all these facts, and we need to to know, like, well, what time is it? What were you wearing? Well, how? And it's like, that does not change what happened. Right. Yeah. And it's like, even the way that we test those things is like so willy nilly out. It makes no sense. Like, whose first thought is within a couple of hours to go to the police? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. Like, there's no one way of doing something.
And it's just and so like, everything shouldn't have to be like a fight for validation.
Yes, 1,000%.
And it's like, we just need it to be because we're all scared of being alone in the end. We're all scared of being wrong. We're all scared of being
or being embarrassed or looking bad.
Yeah. When the thing is, like, that's the thing that keeps us. That's the thing that actually makes us all the most connected. Is that we're all going to be wrong sometimes. We're all going to look like fools.
And that's the only thing that's going to allow anything to change.
We all want to be loved. We all want to be cared. Like, that's just the truth. Like.
Wow, this was a heavy one, but I like the message at the end.
It was fun. I thought this was fun to talk about. Because, you know,
yeah, it's important.
Being nice is about knowing
when to talk about some things that aren't nice.
Yeah.
Because you can't make something nice if you don't talk about how not nice it is.
Sometimes you gotta be brave to be nice. It's nice to be brave.
It's nice to be brave.
Okay, bye.
Bye.